What is up, YouTube? So, these are one of those videos too that I never know how to start, and I say that a lot when I start these videos because I honestly do not know how to jump start them. Now, in a lot of these videos, I'm honestly honest with you guys, and I like to talk about the raw truth of some of the stuff. And the big topic today is going to be understanding that everybody on YouTube, there's a lot of people, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people on YouTube, especially ones that run channels, are either lying to you about some part of the life of being a YouTuber, or they're just, it's so there's trends going on nowadays with social media and everything that people give you the image of what they want you to think their life is. And a lot of times it comes down to YouTube channels and everything just as much. Now, I'm not saying that honestly every YouTube channel out there is hiding stuff from you, that they're lying about every aspect of their channel and everything like that. But I can just go talk about it with you guys and go through personal experience when it comes to. So that originally when I had the idea for this video, it was going to go very different. And like I said, every time I start these videos, I just kind of go off on a tangent and just talk about random stuff. Like, I think originally this video was going to be about something totally different. I was going to talk more about, just my channel in general, but kind of just spreading it out and going off other, things that I've seen and stuff like that too. Now, I'm not going to really push out any certain channels that I know for sure do stuff like this, because I don't like putting that much of a spotlight on stuff. And I also don't like, to be like that kind of person. And so I'm just going to kind of talk to you guys in general about this stuff. So in the past, I've talked about in a lot of my videos where, I've put on a show to get content. I put on a show to get views. I put on a show to be liked, to get more famous, or whatever you want to call it on here. Whether it be being in a bad mood but still trying to act like I'm in a good mood because I'm making a YouTube video, like that. And for most part, as a lot of you guys know, I make these videos like really late at night, like 3-4 in the AM. Like right now it's 2:18, and I'm not saying that because I'm tired and I'm doing it that late at night that honestly I'm trying to be happier than I am, or I'm being too fake. But a lot of the nights, when I had to do these videos, I shouldn't say I had to do these videos, but when I do these videos, I, a little bit lower spirits. It's kind of hard to do stuff like this in the dark all the time and stuff like that. So, I had to almost make a character, and I had to try to pep myself up. And the easiest way to pep myself up is to personally take, chug down some energy drinks. Like I got a Ghost right here, or I work out a lot of times, so I have pre-workouts. So there was times when I purposely would not want to make videos, but I would almost have to make myself want to make videos. So, a scoop of pre-workout, chug 2 energy drinks, just so I could give off this sense of, just energetic, positive nature, so that way these videos would seem more, more enjoyable, I guess. And a lot of you guys have shown in your comments and your support in the past saying that you like these videos a lot more because this is more of what I'm like. I'm not pumped full of 500-600 milligrams of caffeine in a short amount of time. I'm not trying to lie about certain things that are going on, or should I say, not necessarily lie, but kind of just fake. I guess you can probably call those the same thing. But when I'm talking about when other channels do stuff like this, there's not a lot of people out there that are like their channels all the time. And I mean, that might be common sense for a lot of people, but when we watch these videos and stuff, I think we almost put up an image of what we think this person is like all the time. We see YouTube channels where they're, like the only person I can think of, like off the top of my head, that has like a YouTube character that it's like that dry humor and stuff like that would be like Scott the Woz. Now, obviously, I mean, this is nothing negative about him or anything like that, but he does. You wouldn't think that, if you watch his videos, he's always got that kind of constant like, like look in his face. Obviously, that's just a character he plays on YouTube. It's the same, like a big one is obviously James Rolfe when he plays the angry video game nerd. If you've seen a lot of his other videos, obviously not dealing with angry video game nerd, he is nothing like that in general. That is just a character that he picked up and stuff like that he made a long time ago because he's very into films and stuff like that. And I think that a lot of YouTube channels and stuff like that have a similar kind of YouTube personality or a character that they do that's just not as flamboyant, maybe, or I don't know if that's the right word to say, but it's still kind of there. And so when you see those YouTubers and with social medias and stuff, you guys just got to remember sometimes that I like to talk about in these videos that nothing is usually rainbows and unicorns when it comes to YouTube video game collecting and anything like that in general, because it's just like anything with social media. Unless you have the people that post every living moment of their life, all you see is the highlights. And most of the time, those highlights are just the ones that they want to see. They're on vacation, they got a new car, they got, it's their son's birthday, or, stuff like that. It's not they've been, for the most part, diagnosed with some disease, or lost a bunch of money on some kind of investment. That's a lot of stuff that people don't want to tell you about. So when you see somebody that does a video about make a pickup where they get hundreds of dollars worth of games, for not too extreme a price, that's cool and everything, but they don't tell you about, the struggles that went into that. Maybe the hours of negotiations, or the backdoor dealing that they did to get that above somebody else that was going to get it first, but they worked a deal with them and then kind of snuck in behind that other person and took that deal away from the other person. They don't tell you about that stuff. And, and I've been, like I said, I'm not going to call out any certain channels on this or anything like that, but I have weird suspicions sometimes too that these people just have piles and piles of video games and stuff like that, and that they make these pickup videos from stuff that they already have that maybe you've forgot that they have gotten. So you might watch the video from a few years ago and somebody will get like, some very expensive Game Boy games, or if they're a constant hunter, somebody that gets stuff all the time, you might, it might be just repeats of what they've gotten in the past, but they get it so much that you're just like, man, how does this guy keep getting these great deals? He got Pokemon Crystal again? Wow, man, he got 2 of them? Wow, and it seemed like stuff like that is, they might just put this stuff off in a box somewhere, guys, and do these videos and put them up just so you think that they're getting all these picks. Now, I'm not saying that they're not getting these picks, because I've honestly, my mom and pop's local game store or whatever, I was just in there today, and she honestly just got a trade in with which was like this tote, like, one of those big 3x whatever totes, and it was literally full of N64 games. And she said that some guy brought it in, said he found it in his closet and wanted to get rid of it. So I mean, they're out there. I mean, these people aren't lying all the time, but that's what I'm saying is about that people don't want to talk about some of this other stuff that I'm kind of noticing. And like we've talked about this. I mean, I should say I talked about it, you guys listened, but we've talked about this in the comments too. It's, yeah, like I said, it's the hours of doing deals, to do the backdoor stuff, the, waiting around, showing up to garage sales earlier than when they're supposed to open, and trying to cut in on other people. It's, stuff like that, or somebody's family members pass away and they're getting rid of old stuff, and then they don't know how much it's worth, so they lowball them lowball them big time and end up getting it for a good deal. And that's really how it goes. So I always talk about this because I want you guys to remember that. sometimes is I don't want you guys to get weird suspicions. Like, don't go start watching channels now, and every time that they do a pickup video, be like, I bet that guy didn't get that stuff, or I bet he's lying about that. I mean, if they're just doing a pickup video and stuff like that, and they're not trying to do, like, you know, whatever with it, that's probably more than likely they did get it that way. I'm not saying that they didn't, but it just seems sometimes like these guys just like, where are you finding this stuff? Like, you know, that's what I feel like sometimes, because like it took me, you know, granted I'm in Northwest Iowa, I'm in rural Iowa, I'm in a small town of like, you know, 1,000 people. I get it that they're obviously this area has been picked clean, but I guess that's not true, because like I just said, my local game store a couple towns over got a big tote of N64 games, so I guess it's still there. But I feel for the most part, it's just crazy seeing some of these pickups that these people get sometimes. And I don't know, like I said, it's just me talking. It's just my opinion that I feel like sometimes, you know, some of these videos are not really what's going on. But we've talked about how these YouTube's kind of sometimes turns into that social media fake profile stuff, and like I said, I can only go from personal experience in the past about how when I've done videos and stuff too, I've talked about, you know, how I didn't really do any of like the fake pickup videos like that or any of the other stuff like that, but I've done I've got to make this video exciting. I picked up guys. I went today and and I got this for $20. You know, doing all the fancy edits, doing all the fancy jumping around, the big words, the elaborate scripts. You know, I used to do this stuff like that, and really in my head, this is more of what the scene was. Because one, I was either trying to force myself to be excited about it, and I wasn't really in the mood for it, just because I had to make content. But this is really what was going on inside of my head, you know, is I got this today. Paid $20. But who wants to watch that? You know, who wants to watch, unless that's the character that's based on the YouTube channel, where it's just his character is some slow-paced, low tones, like, hey, I went game hunting today. Found this. Stole it from some cat. I don't know. And I honestly don't even know what I'm talking about anymore with this video. It probably should have ended about 7 minutes ago when I kind of just started talking about random stuff. But we talked in comments about this, and that's what I like to see is, like, you know, you guys talk about how wanting to see you'd rather see the honest stuff, the raw stuff, the no scripted, me just up here kind of saying what people think and talking about the darker side of YouTube and making content and experiences with that, because we've seen it. We've seen sometimes how some people's videos don't seem to have the same energy as their other videos. And you know, and that if you go back and watch some of my earlier videos, you might see that. You might see almost like I went into like all of a sudden a deep depression after so many years of doing this, because I went from I kind of jumped to being more like myself instead of wanting to be somebody else, or wanting to be what I thought you guys wanted me to be. And that, like I said, that's not pointing fingers at anybody. That's not trying to make anybody feel bad for doing that, because it's all in your own brain, you know, your self-validation, your self-awareness. And I joked around in the past about this, about, you know, Dr. Io Retro Gamer Dad talking about mental illnesses and trying to do this, and it's not that I'm trying to do something specific anymore. It's just I'm kind of getting up here and just talking about stuff. And I've thought about trying to do a podcast about this, and you guys have kind of validated what my thoughts were on that, because you guys would say that you'd actually like to listen to that too. But that's also something that would put more stuff on my plate. And if I could get around to talking about someone, like video game addiction or mental health and stuff like that for 30 minutes once a week, then, I might do that. We might do that down the road too, because otherwise these videos might start getting a little blah, going over and over again. But I've also said that people have enjoyed just sitting here listening to me talk about this stuff because it makes them not feel alone. And I guess that's one big thing about this too, is not feeling alone in this situation. Because you all know that you watch some of these videos that people make, and you said, this kind of seems shady. But a lot of times we give them the benefit of the doubt, and we're just talking about, it's not necessarily, that. But there is sometimes where it's like, this doesn't feel right. And that's kind of what I just wanted to talk about today. So with that being said, we're running in on 16 minutes almost here, and I've, like I said, been talking for probably 10 minutes over whatever it should have been. So if you made it this far in the video, awesome, guys. I mean, like, I can't thank you guys enough for this. I generally am very happy about how this content is turned on this channel. I've had people that talked about this and said that, what made this change. And over the years, the channel adapts. I adapt. You get wiser. Things change, and this just feels more right, making content about this stuff. And yeah, and like I said, how does not feel right when I can sit here and talk for almost 17 minutes about something, and it just feels right to do this stuff. So from now on, that's kind of what it's going to be about. We're going to talk about retro games, as always. We're going to talk about mental health. We're going to talk about what we don't think people want to see, that just talking about the darker side of YouTube and stuff. We're going to talk about all those other issues. We're obviously still going to talk about gaming news and stuff, because that's what I love too. This is what I'm passionate about. And until, I get tired of doing this, this is what's going on. So I just want to thank you all once again for your support. Thank you all for your comments. I love reading comments. Like, people don't understand how awesome it is to get comments. When I first started my YouTube channel, I just wanted the views. I didn't care about the comments. I wanted the views. I wanted the subs. Now I look more forward to reading what you guys comment on the stuff, having interactions with you, and building a better community, because that means more to me now than the views, than the subscribers and stuff like that. I love reading the comments, and I love replying. So unlike a lot of other YouTube channels, a lot of my focus is on communicating with you guys and stuff like that. So if I don't get to your comments right away, please know that I know they're there. It just takes a little bit, and sometimes it's harder for me to reply to comments that I've already replied to, because it doesn't pop up as easily on my comments section of my YouTube page, so I have to sometimes go back through some of them. So if I miss replies, guys, I'm sorry. I really appreciate everything you guys do for the channel, and as always, if you guys have any issues with mental health, seek help. If it's something that can be just talked about, you can always hit me up and DM me on Instagram and just let me know what's going on. And if you just need somebody to listen, then I'm here for you guys. So with that being said, as always, stay retro, my friends, and I will see you in the next conversation that we have. Peace out, guys.